Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing very, very well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Also, don't forget, give me a follow on Instagram. Ade Oladipo is the Instagram handle. You know, I was just thinking, all this AJ Fury talk, and look, we are going to get to it, has taken a bit away from Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall, obviously this weekend, Alycia Baumgardner and Michaela Mayer as the co-main event. Like, Sky would be ramping up their push now for more eyeballs, right? I think a few tickets are still left to be sold at the O2 Arena, and everyone would be focusing on that. Like, all the boxing people would be focusing on that. And here comes this juggernaut that is AJ Fury, and it's almost just been forgotten. So it's really bad timing for that fight. Look, still a great fight. I'm upset because I did want to come back to the UK a couple of days early. I just tried to book or rebook my ticket with Virgin to come back on Thursday so I can get to this fight. The ticket prices are ridiculous. Just to change my ticket is ridiculous. So we are here until Sunday. I am really looking forward to Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall, but I just feel like it has kind of been lost in this AJ Fury thing in the last sort of 24 hours. Hopefully this Fury AJ thing dies down in the next couple of days, and then again we can get ramped up a bit more for Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall. All right, let's talk Fury AJ, or AJ Fury. I keep saying it each way. Look, in the last 24 hours, a lot's happened, right? Since Tyson Fury called out Anthony Joshua for a fight in December. It's strange how people just don't believe Fury, right? No one believes him. The responses to that call out, I was reading some of the responses, and a lot of them were like, oh, please. No one believes him. But in the last sort of 24 hours, I think a lot more has happened. AJ has responded saying, look, I don't do the social media thing, but if you want to fight in December, we can do that in December. Just reach out to 258 Management. I spoke to someone from 258 Management yesterday, or at least sent them a voice note. They sent me a voice note back, like, what's going on? Like, is there anything in this? And they were like, yeah, there is something in it. They don't know how much is in it, but there definitely is something in it. So it's not just Fury doing what Fury does, which is talk nonsense. This is quite real. This is quite real, people. Obviously, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren have both gone on TalkSport. I've just watched those interviews, and Frank said he's going to send an offer over to AJ's team. Eddie said, look, if they can get it done, because this is nothing now to do with Eddie and Matchroom and DAZN and AJ. This is all about Tyson Fury and Frank Warren. If they can get this done before December, AJ's in. He's interested. He's in. A lot's going to come down to money. I've seen Tyson Fury put out a tweet saying, look, I am serious. And I believe he is, by the way. There's some talk of some people not thinking that Fury would want to fight AJ. And I've never understood that talk. Fury is not scared of Anthony Joshua, like one bit. You guys know I'm the biggest AJ fan there is. He's not scared of AJ. Why would he be? Fury is the best heavyweight on the planet. Fury is all about his money. AJ generates him more money, I think, especially if there's not a site fee involved. If it's just raw, bums on seats, pay-per-view, there's no fight that generates Fury more money than fighting Anthony Joshua. And plus, he knows he's fighting an Anthony Joshua now that's a bit vulnerable mentally and emotionally. So this is, for Fury, the perfect time to fight AJ. Why not do it? So he's certainly not scared. But he did say on a tweet, I will give you good and fair, I think it was, champion-challenger splits. That ain't gonna work. And look, it should work, don't get me wrong, but AJ's not your average challenger, is he? I know some people say he's got no belts. Forget all that for a second. AJ's still, and I said this yesterday, alongside Canelo, still the biggest draw in boxing. Like, he still is. So, I don't think a 75-25 split's going to work, or an 80-20 split, and that's usually the champion-challenger splits. Some people might be saying, yeah, but he's got the opportunity to fight for a WBC title. When you're right, I agree with you. I'm just looking from an AJ mindset and a 258 Management mindset. That split ain't going to work, because this fight would be humongous because of both people. It's not like one makes it bigger than the other. Both of them equally make this fight the biggest British fight we've seen of all time, and I don't think that's going to be a 75-25 split. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I guess in the next couple of days, if Team Fury are serious, we'll all know about an offer, because we know Eddie likes to talk, right? Eddie will say, yep, we've received an offer. And then they'll discuss whether or not that offer is fair. Again, some of you might say, 1 second, of course it's fair. He's lost back to back. He's lost 3 of his last 5. He's no longer a champion. I get that. But all I'm saying in sort of a counterbalance to that is Fury cannot fight anyone that generates that much money, regardless of their position. Fury could fight someone right now who's won their last 20 fights and they're not going to make anywhere near the kind of money AJ is going to make. You know, even if he were to fight Usyk over here, so no Saudi Arabia site fee or no Middle East site fee. If he was just to fight Usyk over here in the UK, it won't make the same money fighting AJ will make. So AJ brings a bit something different to the table, although he has no belts and although he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights. If you were to have asked me yesterday, do I think this fight's going to happen? It would have been a resounding 0% chance. Like, no, absolutely not. Now, it's still very, very low. It's like 20% chance, but that's still a lot better than yesterday, just because, again, we know an offer's going to come through and we wait to see what this offer is. Eddie's spoken. Again, I reached out to someone at 258 yesterday. They think there's a bit of truth in all this. And why not? And why not? Look, it's not the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario would have been last year before Usyk beat AJ back to back, right? That would have been the perfect scenario. AJ got his belts back against Andy Ruiz, then he beat up Kubrat Pulev, and you kind of ride in that wave into the fight. Wilder's just Fury just beat Wilder. That made sense. Right now, you're gonna watch it, right? But if you were to ask 100 people, I think a lot of people would say Fury's gonna win. Whereas last year, I think he still would have had a lot of Fury. I think Fury would have still been in the majority, but it'd have been a lot closer. So it's not ideal, but hey, not all fights can be perfect, right? Some people want the perfect scenario to make these fights, and then we miss out on these big fights. Sometimes you just got to go for it. You can't keep rolling the dice on them. Fury versus AJ is enormous. It's enormous. And already right now, Frank will be looking and speaking to the Principality. Frank will be talking to Old Trafford. Frank will be talking to Wembley to make this fight happen. And a good thing as well for UK fight fans is that it will happen in the UK if it does happen. Again, look, do I believe it's going to happen? Absolutely not. Honestly, that 20%, even as I'm talking, it's dwindling. But if it does happen, it's a UK fight and it's in December. Frank also said, and this is when you know that they maybe are serious or not serious. Frank also said on that interview with TalkSport, Simon Jordan and Jim White, that we're going to send him an offer for a fight in November. Well, Tyson Fury said December. AJ said December. You're already now moving it to November. What are we doing? Like, what is it? But he did say that his son, George, or was it Francis, has been speaking to Eddie. And that's good because clearly Eddie can't speak to Frank. But those two can speak to each other. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like what AJ did and say, okay, look, you're calling me out on social media. I'm not going to get into the back and forth on Twitter. That's not how fights are made. If you want to do this, I can do this. And then he said the word clever underneath his tweet. Did you guys see that? He said the word clever. And what does that mean? That was interesting. I was like, what does that clever mean? I think it was clever. Let me quickly. I'm just trying to find AJ's tweet. 1 second, peeps. I found that word quite interesting. I was like, what does that mean, that word? Is it calva or clever? I was like, Let's see. See if I can find the tweet. Khalas. Khalslas. Khalas. What does that mean? I don't know why I'm so interested in the meaning of this, but I remember thinking it means something. Okay, it means of course or sure in Arabic. Enough. Okay, there's a few words for it. Through translations. Done, okay, all right, finish, enough. Interesting. But let's see. Look, let's see what happens. For what are we now? September. We're talking. This has to be done in like a week. For it to go in December, a fight of this magnitude, everything needs to be, and when I say done, I at least mean financials agreed and a date agreed, and then you work towards that, but it needs to happen quickly. I know Eddie's penciled in 2 return dates for AJ, the 10th of December and the 17th of December, both in the UK. I saw someone on Twitter the other day talking about AJ fighting Filip Hrgović, Madison Square Garden. No, he's not doing that. He's fighting in the UK. Maybe Hrgović, but he's certainly fighting in the UK. All right, should we quickly see if there's anything else to talk about before we get out and I go and see what Lagos has to offer? Luis Ortiz's trainer gives his thoughts on Wilder versus Ruiz. Wilder's got to knock him out. Yeah, Wilder would knock him out, man. Andy Ruiz got hit far too much in that fight for me. Let's have a look. What else? A bit here about Tyson Fury. Feels that he will stop Alexander Usyk inside of 6 rounds. Be interesting to see what Usyk's team are making of this. I actually don't think they care. Or if they do care, I think they think Fury will beat AJ and they'll just fight Fury in the new year. What if AJ wins? It kind of, things get very weird if AJ were to win. And I'd love AJ to win, but if AJ wins, they're not going to do Usyk AJ a 3rd time round, are they? For an undisputed, they're not going to do it. Yeah, they're not at all. All right, anything else? No, not really. Again, it's dominated, and this is why I said at the start of the video how not great this is for Shields Marshall. The fact that it's now dominated by all AJ Fury talk. AJ Fury. Not great timing. Peace.